Hi guys, this is the hints video for 6.5 on your own mild version. Okay, so we've got two word problems here. Alright, so Andrea is biking. First thing we need to do is kind of like set up our map. So the first sentence here is going to help us set up the map. So the park is south of the mall, which means if I start at the mall, which is on the map, and go south, I should get the park. So we can just put the park somewhere south of the mall. And then the movie theater is east of the mall. So if I start at the mall and go east, that's where the theater is. So this is theater, and down here is park. Okay, and then I can connect those two dots and make our triangle that's going to help us solve this problem. All right, so now we're going to go through, look for the information we have, label our triangle with it, and then we're going to solve. So first thing is Andrea starts at the park and bikes 3 miles to the theater. So park to theater is 3 miles. If I start at the park and go straight to the theater, that's 3 miles right there. Okay, 3 miles. Next thing, at a bearing of 42 degrees. So remember, the bearing is the angle measured clockwise from north. So if I start at north and go clockwise, that's my bearing right here. So that is 42. Okay, and then here's our question. How far from the park to the mall? So that's our missing side. It's a distance, so I'm going to call that x. And on the diagram, I'm going to start at the park, go to the mall. So there's the side that I want. So this side is x. Okay, so we've got our diagram labeled. Now we're just in lesson 6.2 territory. We just have to solve for that missing side. So we want to know which side do we have. So our have is the 3 miles, and that is the hypotenuse of the triangle. Okay, which side do we want? That's x. That's our adjacent side for 42. Okay, so now think to yourself, which trig ratio uses hypotenuse and adjacent? And hopefully we come up with cosine. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so that's our setup. You're going to use that to then write an equation. So you're going to fill in the equation, but we know it's cosine. We know something goes in the cosine, and then we've got a fraction on the other side. So use this setup to fill in these numbers over here, and then solve for x. And if you need a refresher on how to solve for x, you can check out lesson 6.2. There's lots of examples in there. Okay, so that's it for number 1. Let's go look at number 2. Further Adventures of Ollie the Explorer. Okay, so remember we want to set up our map. Ollie the Explorer has heard about some hidden treasure. Oh my god. The treasure is 30 miles north and 50 miles east of the Isle of Mice. So here's the Isle of Mice. If I go north and then east, I get the treasure. So I need to first go north, and then from there I go east, and there's my treasure. Okay, so in this case, this point isn't really anything. It's just that's how far north we went, and then from there we went east to get the treasure. Okay, so we've got our map, we've got our triangle. Now let's start labeling some of the sides. So, 30 miles north, that's our first clue. So the north direction was that side. That's how far north we went, and that's 30 miles. All right, then we go 50 miles east. So east was this top side. and that's 50 miles. Okay, and then here's our question. What bearing should Ollie sail at? So remember, the bearing is the angle, so we're going to call this theta, and it's that angle measured clockwise from north. So there's theta. Okay, so at this point, we're in lesson 6.3, where we're solving for a missing angle. So we're going to set it up, and then you guys are going to solve it. So we want to know which sides do we have. For theta, we've got, it looks like the opposite side and then the adjacent side. So think to yourself really quick, which trig ratio uses opposite and adjacent? And hopefully we come up with tangent of theta. I need to move that. Oh my god. Equals opposite over adjacent. Okay. Ollie is playing with something right now. Okay. If you're hearing weird noises, that's Ollie. Okay, so that's our setup, and then the last thing we need to do is write our equation. You guys are going to fill this in, but we know it's tangent, right? So tangent of something equals something over something. So your job now is to fill in these missing numbers and then solve that for theta. If you need an example on solving for theta, you can check out lesson 6.3. Okay, I hope these hints helped you guys get started. Have a great day, guys.